welcome to We Started a Business, Send Help.
Or just Send Help. I'm Nicola, founder of Wear the Stars. I've got a styling business, and Tallow House, which is a low-tox skincare brand.
And I'm George. I'm a luxury copywriter, and I also recently launched the Manifesto Studio, which is wordy art prints for life's key moments.
And between us, we are figuring out how to run a small business, the highs, the lows, and the messy in-betweens.
And when we get really stuck, which is quite often, we have some brilliant guest experts coming on to help us and you navigate all of those messy parts of business life with actionable and easy to follow advice and tips where you don't need loads of time or a trust fund to implement.
Yeah, so if you're just like us and you're building a business, or you just want to come and sit on the sofa with us each week, then do. We're right here with you.
So let's go.
Making it up, clearly. Hello and welcome to episode 15 of We Started a Business, Send Help. Today we're talking money, motherhood and the UK budget and what you really need to know.
So we have a guest expert with us, Rachel Kerr. You are a financial planner who helps women and families navigate life's big transitions, which a lot of us and the listeners have gone through. Things like motherhood, divorce, retirement, all of those kind of things. So you used to work in banking, and now you're on a mission to make financial planning jargon-free and doable for people.
Yes.
So first of all, thank you for agreeing to come on the pod.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. And could you tell us a little bit more about you and what you do and how you ended up, A, in this world, and B, honing in on that sort of purpose-driven aspect of your business?
So I think my story is probably familiar to a lot of women of our age. So I have worked in a corporate career that I fell into for, it's been around 18 years. And about 2 years ago, I moved from London back to Warwickshire after 2 kids, lived in a flat in London, needed more space. So yeah, we made the sort of transition here. At that time, there was sort of that drive back to the office as well. So I was then finding that I was having to start commuting more, which was never in the plan. And, and if I wasn't commuting, I was just on Zoom calls after Zoom calls. And
Full on, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And I think in reality, I sort of realized it just wasn't bringing me much joy. And with that, I was very lucky to be presented with an opportunity to take redundancy, and I grabbed it with both hands. And yeah, so I spent a little bit of time, we've been talking, I did a lot of renovating on our house, we had some time out, all of that kind of thing. And then in February this year, I opened the doors to Albert and May. That's my wealth management practice.
And it's particularly focused on women.
It is particularly focused on women. So I spent a lot of time within the bank doing a lot of projects focused on women. And I think I started to realise how much inequality, how much discrepancy there is between men and women when it comes to our finances. And so when I was able to focus in on something that I felt I could actually do and have a voice in, there was just a real natural pull to support women. And I don't only serve women, but often I am speaking to women who are potentially more of the gatekeepers to their family finances, or women who are business owners. And I think I can empathise with women in a different way to many financial advisors out there.
I think that's brilliant. And how did you do? Is Albert and May your children?
It is.
I thought I should have asked that at the beginning. I think it's lovely. And how has it been going from that corporate world to being a small business owner?
I mean, like you say, you just wear all the hats. So it's a lot, but I enjoy, we said earlier, not the BS that comes with it, and it's very freeing, but at the same time quite scary because it's all on your shoulders and you're trying to juggle a million things and still serve clients in a really professional way. So there's a lot to take on, but I am enjoying it.
I think it's really nice as well. Like, I think women gravitate towards women as well, so that must have been like a really positive when women come to you. Like, you understand. And I think I'm generalising here, but as I just said, a lot of us have done corporate, paid into the pension pot where your employer puts, 5% in, you put 5% in, and you've accrued quite a nice little amount, and then you've come out of that environment, you've probably had some children, or we're just going with that. We'll go with that. We've had some kids. You've stepped away from it. You've realised you don't want to go back to work. You probably set up your own business and then you're here and it's kind of like 10 years later when you've come up for I've got no pension, I've got however much that I paid into, what am I going to do now? Like, where do I start with this?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I mean, I'm in that situation too. I
think no judgment here.
Yeah. Because do you, like, are people coming to you in a certain life moment, or have there been certain triggers? Do you see patterns in terms of the type of clients that you're seeing?
So an age thing.
Well, there definitely is. So there are certain life moments that trigger people to seek some financial advice. So I talk about those moments, whether that is, maybe it's buying your first home, a divorce, potentially parenthood, but I don't think enough people are using that as a moment to seek advice.
Very interesting.
I think you're so in it though, aren't you?
Yeah,
kind of see the
completely. But actually, potentially, if I could say, do it before these moments, because getting your finance or getting your plan, getting when you're not in the thick of something is such an easier place to do it from, that then that plan helps you through those moments, is always going to be beneficial.
Such good advice, isn't it? Like having that moment before, if you go on maternity leave or something like that, I know it's hard because you're so engrossed in, you're having a baby.
Completely. And I'm speaking to somebody this week. She's 25. She is a business owner, actually. And it's such a lovely, she really does. And what a lovely moment to start to work with somebody. And I work, throughout your life with you, and we've mapped it all. So she knows she's going to want children. So we've got this, amazing foresight to be thinking like that. But and we aren't all in that position. But otherwise, it is always good opportunity to seek some advice, though.
So, just before we continue, Rachel, you wanted to make clear that during this pod, you'll give guidance, not specific advice. You're in a regulated industry, and today you're going to share the sort of experiences that you've had.
I can't give any specific advice because I would need to know the ins and outs of somebody and their personal situation to give you tailored advice. But what is really important, and we all want to raise, is our sort of financial knowledge, our education. And there's so much jargon and so much things out there. So if I can break that down a little bit for people, that's where I am.
It feels quite taboo, doesn't it? Money.
Oh, yeah.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because you don't feel like you feel like you should know. They should definitely teach this sort of stuff at school.
And actually, our money beliefs and our views on money are formed at the ages of 5 to 7, and it stays with us throughout our life. So rewriting some of those scripts is a really interesting place to look. And so, it is no wonder that it is taboo, but also causes anxiety. It's stress.
We had a coffee before. We did half the pod before.
I know, we've done it.
So we've got to remember what we were saying. But one of the really good things that you were saying, Rachel, is one of the biggest things you're on a mission to do is to get people to take their head out the sand. And I think that's one thing that it can happen. You sort of spiral, you live day to day. You don't want to look too far into the future. If you're a new business, if you're not taking any salary, all of these kind of things, you think, oh, it will get better. But actually, it is, one of the things you said is people do need to get their head out the sand and take time to assess their situation. Would you say that's one of the biggest things people can do today?
100%. So taking a moment to reflect on where you currently are, what you currently have, what you want to achieve. It doesn't mean you have to take action immediately or change anything, but understanding your current position is so important because, knowledge is key in this, and understanding what you're doing. Yeah, completely. And you know, it's often people are really surprised when they take stock for a moment. Maybe they can relieve some of their worries.
Okay.
Or at least if there is some issues you need to deal with, you know what they are and where to pinpoint them. So definitely, something I probably hear at least weekly, and this is on both genders, is my other half deals with this. My other half is the money. They do the management. And like I said, it's not on women or men, but often there's a person in the relationship who takes that on. And sometimes I wonder, is that burying, leaving it, not confronting it? So being curious, taking an interest in what's going on and having an idea is powerful.
It's a bit of a naivety, isn't it, to think, oh, it's all going to be fine.
Yeah.
Like, there is I don't even know what state pension is. A month,
about,
a week,
well, annually, it's about £12,000 a year.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, but you can't even buy shopping for £12,000 a year. It's like, you know, it's a naivety to think everything will be fine, and actually, it's only going to be fine if you take control with any aspect of your life. Don't take control of it. It's going to be out of control, isn't it?
Exactly.
So, actually, you told a really good story about a lady. That sort of age comparison, if you could tell that story, because that's actually really powerful.
Yeah.
To starting now as opposed to starting
so
a little bit later.
I did a bit of an analysis recently. So say you are 40, if they took stock now of their retirement and they had £100,000 in a pension, perhaps they've had one of these corporate jobs and they've been paying £200 in every month into it. If she took stock at 40 and reviewed it and say, I think she wanted to get to a pension pot at 65 of £700,000, which, by the way, only gives you an income of about £25,000 a year.
Oh. For how long?
Just be right back. Just going to get a second job, guys.
Only fun.
Yeah. Exactly. And so, I mean, the and this is what I remember from it. So if you took stock at 40, and to get to that amount, she would need to start putting in an additional, say, £900 a month, which I know already feels quite a lot.
She was probably paying
200.
Yeah.
But if she decided to do nothing, because we know time goes by, we're busy people, and then all of a sudden you're 50 and she did the review then, she would have to start paying in over £3,000 a month.
Wowzers. It's like not achievable, is it?
So you weigh it up and you might not put the 900 in at 40. You might do half. You might do something.
But you're aware.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody, you know, because £100,000 pension pot existing might sound
that sounds a lot. Yeah.
Oh my God, I've only got 10.
Yeah.
What would you say to somebody who hasn't got £100,000 pension pot already sat there and they are 30 or 40 and they're starting from scratch? I mean, is that even possible?
So anything is possible. Doing nothing is still doing nothing. So small and often and starting, I would say that's the biggest message. So do something.
Do action.
Do something and build the habit or set the intention. Small business owners, we know we can't, maybe it's not this year, but when at a moment that you can, start to do something. But equally, look at your current situation. Are there things that you could be doing to find a little bit extra? Is there something you might sacrifice? Because that is what it's about. You can work with what you've got.
Drinking, stop sneaking.
I know. Just taking a step back, when you said about taking stock, how would you recommend one of your clients to do that? Is that literally just getting an Excel spreadsheet, writing down incomings, outgoings, assets, like anything?
Yeah, so there's places that, you can start. So getting a handle on what your incomings, what your income is, and what your expenses are is a really important place. And I could, when with my clients, I provide them a spreadsheet to do that. I'm sure there's lots about and getting a real handle, because often we underestimate what we're spending. Okay. But getting into the detail, what are those annual spends that you've got every year? What's your holidays? What's your insurance? And we really look at it. And then we're going to bucket into what is your essential expenditure. So what do you have to be spending every month to keep the mortgage going, to keep the bills, to your insurances that you can't stop?
And they tot up. Like when I've done this, it's unbelievable.
And how much are you paying Jeff? Amazon.
Yeah. I was like, who's Jeff?
Exactly.
That's not an essential, Nick. That's not essential.
I don't know.
And then you're going to want to know, what is your discretionary? What is your living? What's your fun money? What could you live without? But I'm not saying that you have to start to pick at that. Give yourself an amount that still makes life worthwhile, right?
Yeah.
And so that you've got that, and then you want to then see what's left over. and what have you got? And a good way then to think of it for some people is 50% of it needs to be your essentials.
Yeah.
30% of it is your discretionary, is your leisure. And then 20% of it is left to be thinking about investing. Or if you're in a situation, which many people are, where you have debt, and I'm talking about high interest debt, not your mortgage.
Like
you're talking about your
loans.
payday loans.
Yeah.
You're talking about high credit cards. Then
Yeah.
you need to be starting to tackle that before you do anything.
Okay.
But if you're in that situation and you know, around 20%, if you're still looking, that is a great place to start as a guide to be thinking what is, and the investment, whether it's your pension, it's other types of investments, it's all up for grabs.
I was going to say, like, people like with debt, like, you can't throw your head in the sand with that. And I always think it's you know, time goes on. So if you bury your head in the sand, 3 years can go on, you still buried your head in the sand, whereas you could have been chipping away at that.
If you take stock, and like you said, for people that are about to go through big life changes, so people that are about to have kids or more kids, for people that have decided to leave their job and set up their business, which is quite a few of the listeners, what other steps can they do or things to consider to protect their long-term finances? So is there something with that 20% then that they can already start thinking about? Yeah.
So what I would always say is that what you need to be doing is, once you're taking stock of all your finances, you want to have what we would call an emergency fund. So going back to those numbers, when I talked about what your essential expenditure is, you want to be thinking, have I got an amount of savings in cash that covers me for around 3 to 6 months of essential expenditure?
Okay.
Potentially for business owners, you might be looking at 6 to 12 months, because we all know it's a little bit more volatile when you're running your own business.
Okay, so that would be essential costs for living and business costs.
Yeah, so yes, exactly. So you want to have that in, and that amount of cash allows you, if something goes wrong, if an unexpected bill, if the car breaks down, you're covered. If you then have that in place, anything above that in terms of additional savings and cash, what we want to start thinking about is protecting it against inflation.
Okay.
So we know in the UK we have a high inflation rate, and that is meaning, so when we're going to the shops, everything's just getting more expensive all the time. And we're working really hard and our money isn't going as far. And what we want to then be thinking for our growing is finding investment opportunities that beat the inflation rate, okay? Because that's going to allow your money to grow.
Okay.
If you keep too much cash in the bank, even in an interest savings account, it is going to be eaten away by inflation. And as women, we're more inclined to do that because it's safe. We can see it. It feels protected.
So I was saying to you earlier, wasn't I? I've got a pot of money sat there, and I just like to log on and it's just
is it in your offshore account?
It's just like here. My Swiss bank account, darling. Okay? It's like that would be. So, but no, I was saying to you earlier, wasn't I? Sort of, I know I need to do something with it, but it's almost a comfort blanket
to know that it's there.
It just that, and it's earning nothing.
So you want an amount that feels that it is. So you've got your emergency, and you might have some more. So anything that you might want to spend in the next 5 years, you might want to keep an account like that. So if you've got a big holiday that you're going to be looking for, or it's less, if it's within the 5-year period, keep it within cash. If it's longer term and you're thinking about kids' education, you're thinking about goals that are in the future, you want to talk about your retirement, you want to expand your business, and these are all sort of 5 years plus, that's where you want to start thinking about investment opportunities. And I can break that down because that sounds really intimidating in itself.
It feels, I know, like for me, when you're talking, I know I should be doing all of this. I'm thinking, but it's almost like my throat constricts. It's like that panic overcomes a little bit. And the investment sounds like I need to be a big banker and I've got to have hundreds of thousands to be able to invest. But you're sort of making me feel calmer knowing that these are things that anybody can do.
Yep. As long as you've got that piece protected and you've got your emergency and it's not within a 5-year period, anything longer than that. And actually the first step of all of this is actually to write down what those goals are. What are you wanting to achieve? And be really specific in it. And put it on a timeline. And that timeline's important because that allows us to know what type of investments we might be looking at, because there's a time
And also there's
period
an
to it.
accountability to you to do that.
Yeah.
Going back quickly to the
Mhm.
emergency fund,
Mm.
how many people do you think really have that emergency fund?
Very, very few.
That's
There's
what-
some
yeah.
shocking stats in this country around most people. Everything would stop within 1 month if their income stopped.
That's what I thought.
Most have about a month saved, if. And so I know that in itself is something to work to. So before you do anything, before you do any investing, work on
Do
that.
That
Work on that.
emergency fund is everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because without that,
You can't take the other risks.
You can't.
And even in your business, if you're a small business owner, if you know you've got that in your back pocket,
yes,
that might make you take a risk elsewhere. It might
Yes.
make, maybe I'll start a new product line. Maybe I'll think about that because I've got
that.
I've got this.
You know, I don't have all these things in place, but you're making me feel like it's all right.
yeah,
Like you're not alone.
You're not.
Like you can. It's not the end. It's not too late. You can do
Just-
something about it.
Just start.
Just start. With everything, isn't it? It's like, yeah, just start.
Yeah.
But I think it's a shame. It like it does feel like a very grey area, isn't it? I suppose. Yeah, just start. It's got to be the theme.
Yeah.
The key.
and not to be scared of it.
No, take stock of it, look at it head on, and then you know what you're dealing with.
Yeah. Okay. So if people have got their emergency fund in place,
Yeah.
they've done their timeline and their plans. So
They've got their
specific
goals.
So it could be things on there like grow the business or move house
Yeah.
or renovate or go on a worldwide trip. So
Yeah.
they're the type of things. Or, what age do you want to retire?
Yeah.
Is that
That goes on there. Yeah.
okay?
If you're a small business owner, what age do you think you might sell your business? Or you're never going to, but these are the things that are going to
These are really good questions
to map out. Do I want my children to go to university and not be burdened with debt?
yes.
Are these some of the things I want to think about? And the more specific you can be, but it's very individual to yourself. What do you
Yeah.
want to achieve?
And I mean, I'm hoping to stay married.
Yes.
See, Ben's listening. Congratulations. Let's keep going. But there are people out there and they can't leave yet.
Yeah.
They're not financially secure. And I guess you
Yeah.
see a lot of women come to you at a time when things look like they might be upended. So I guess this kind of planning and taking stock can really help those.
That emergency fund, I really suggest if you're in a couple, you have one jointly because there are going to be things. But if you're a woman, you may want to have your own, and you might call it something like an FIT fund, an FU fund, something like that.
No,
So it's your money that you know is there. So if you've got to leave a relationship, you've
Yeah.
got something. If you need to leave a job that you just can't do anymore, you've got some security that's there for you. So yeah, I definitely would suggest having that ability, because so many women, especially if we've left corporate and we're starting our own, we're so ingrained and so reliant on our other half that becomes really tricky. But again, seeking advice, because if you're married, understanding what the divorce process looks like, what you're entitled to, what are marital assets, what will that look like, can be complicated. But if you understand it, maybe seek advice, see what the situation will look like.
But
And
having that information is power. Well,
Yeah.
it's about the whole thing,
Yeah.
isn't it? Information is power.
Yeah.
And know where you stand and what you can do
Mhm.
going forward.
and also having that financial independence. I think we're all mums of girls as well. And I think wanting them and wanting us and all of our peers and friends to have that financial empowerment. So, I think Tara 51% Club is doing a great work at demystifying and helping women get financially ahead. And your job, Rachel, is to help women financially secure themselves.
Yes.
And, are there any other tips or things or accounts or anything that we can do, I guess, to sort of demystify it and make it feel like part of our everyday?
Yeah, talking more, being more open, all of these things. So, I think as women, we often don't talk to our friends. We talk to them about everything, our health, our things, but we often don't talk about our financial situation. So again, there's that view that men, they'll be on the golf course, they'll share a tip, they share things. Women aren't doing that.
Yes.
So being really open in that sense, something we're often on social media, but follow, and I'm happy to provide some accounts.
That would be
afterwards. Follow
amazing.
some
Yeah.
great accounts. See women who are investing. There was a report out this week that said that the negative language around women and investing is so rife, so that we lack confidence, we're scared, we're all of these things. But actually, it's that language that's putting women off in themselves.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
surrounding ourselves and seeing people who are being successful and doing it, and perhaps will give you the confidence that you can too.
I was going to say, before you said that, I was going to say the feels quite a negative like energy around like women and money and looking after yourself and stepping up and taking control. Like, it's just, now we're saying it just seems
Well, and again, some of that comes down to those innate beliefs that were
your
built
belief
in
system.
childhood, that maybe, is it greedy to want something more for ourselves? Is it all of, and there's so much negativity, but actually rewriting some of those and seeing it, that you were taking independence, that you're doing it for yourself, and we're not always at the bottom of the list. But
And if everyone here does their timeline, and that emergency fund is the biggest thing, isn't it?
yeah, that allows you to take some more risks. And women, we are risk averse. So in order to do that, you've got that there. You can then start to take some risks. And when it comes to investing, you can find investments that suit your risk appetite. How much are you willing to put in? How much to lose? Because obviously we know higher risk, high reward, but there is a balance and there's a scale on that when it comes to investing. So there's different types of investment. And timeline's really important on this. So the longer you have to invest, the more risk sometimes you can take, because your money is going to be in the market for longer.
Okay. And where do you even go to start investing?
So there's so many different platforms out there. There are the banks offer investment products. There's people like me who support you to put them in place. Financial advisors can do that as well. So there's a wealth depending on how you want to approach it. But I would say keep it really simple. So if you've done all of those steps we've sort of talked about, and you said, you know what, I am going to look to, depending on your timeline, you might look to put more into your pension, say. But if it's for, say, a slightly shorter period and it's not your retirement, you might look to open something called a stocks and shares ISA.
Yes.
So this is a tax efficient way to start to grow. So you can put up to £20,000 every year into it. And if there are ready-made funds that have lots of diversification built in. That's really important. That means that you're putting your money into lots of different companies, lots of different sectors, markets. And with that, again, you're sort of spreading the risk. So there are ready-made funds that are out there that exist on these platforms in banks through different people. And you choose on your risk scale. So just there will be quite, when you go on the sites, it will show you. And then you can start. And even doing something as a regular direct debit, I'm more a fan for automating things. So you're not always having to think about it or double guess. And do it little and often, and start small if that's where you want to.
And how small? Because I would assume you'd need thousands and thousands of pounds to invest. What's the smallest you could go for?
I think I spoke to somebody that does doing £15 a week. Do you know, like,
brilliant.
Just start so that you can build the habit, build your confidence in it. And then you might get to the point where you get something and you got a bonus from work and you're like, do you know what, I'm feeling this now. I might put some more in, but just start. If you're really not feeling sure, start small, but start.
Brilliant. And also, so we've talked about pensions and like ISAs and stuff. So would you recommend, regardless of how you might invest your money, should you always have a pension money alongside that? Or can you invest in an ISA?
So it comes back to your goals.
Yeah.
But I think everybody would love to be able to retire. And have a comfortable retirement, whatever that means for you. So I would suggest that most people do have a pension. And the reason for that is it's a really, really super tax efficient way to invest.
Yeah.
Because the minute that you put some money into a pension, the government's going to top it up by 20% for you. So if I said to you, do you want a 20% return? You're going to say yes. Equally, if you have goals that are in a shorter time period, having those other investment opportunities, so if it's between 5 and 10, 15, 20 years, then looking at those. But yeah, it doesn't have to be mutual, one or the other. You could split it. You could have a bit, but but comes back to those goals. What do you want to achieve?
Like me, for example, I had a corporate pension. I set up, I think when I left work, I don't know how, I set up a couple of pensions. It's not tons in them, but I tried to consolidate them into one place. I think I did a couple, and I think one's still stray. I don't even, if I died tomorrow, my kids will never know where it is. I probably don't even know where it is, but would you all suggest consolidating stuff?
It depends on what you want to achieve. So consolidation can be really, really helpful because it just reduces the admin. It helps you keep a track of it so you don't lose track. So it can be a really effective goal for people. It can sometimes be more cost effective. You might have lower fees, these kind of things. I would say if you're looking at that, taking some advice is really useful in that situation to be able to say, is this the right thing to do?
You'll need to know the stats on that, wouldn't you? Because you get these platforms like Moneybox, for example, who go consolidate all your pensions. You could be potentially taking it out of a better earning pension,
and that's
consolidate it into one platform, and then it not knowing the stats behind it.
Yeah, and that's where advice, I think, especially when it comes to pensions, they can be quite a complex product. Not everything on the surface is what it seems. So an advisor is going to go away and they're going to find out the nitty gritty that sits behind it. How's it invested? And then they're going to talk to you about how do you want it invested so that it's in the right way for you. So yeah, I think often I would say when it's coming to those moments, taking some advice on your pension, your retirement can often be a helpful thing to do.
Very good.
So for people listening who have got young families or about to have family, what's the top tip?
So I always say the best investor is a kid, is a child, is a baby.
Use them.
Yes, because they've got time on their side. Okay.
Oh, yes.
So when you have time, your investments have that time to grow. They can ride the market ups and downs. So you can invest in products called junior ISA, and you can have that in cash, and you can that can be a great option. But you can have a junior stocks and shares ISA as well. So very similar to what I was explaining before. You could do lump sums. You could have it on direct debit. Grandparents often, my mum will say, what do they want for Christmas? It might be those types of things. So you can top them up.
So do you have a junior ISA?
I've got
junior stocks and shares.
Visions of Sam and Olivia when they're older, driving from the bank. I'll be there in like some tin shed, and they'll be driving away in their Bentleys.
Everything I've done for you.
Just like give your mum a 10-pack.
And that is the important point. So when a junior ISA, when your child gets to 18, it's theirs.
Oh no, that's a disaster. Can you make it longer?
No.
Oh, okay. So
18. It is always theirs, but from 18 they can take full control of it.
Wow.
So for certain people that is worth a consideration.
Yes.
But again, does this come down to some of those important conversations you're having with your children about money?
Stability, isn't it?
So but that is, you can even though set up a kid with their pension. So
you?
Yes.
Well, kids.
And I've got you a pension that you could have at 6.
Going to be like Bruce's Millions.
I'm not joking. My kids get pensions for Christmas.
For families, it would be that. For small businesses and individuals, anyone listening, it's getting that emergency fund in place, making sure that's the priority, get clear on everything, pay down your high interest debts, and then setting out your goals and just having everything there. And then when you've got that in place, speak to somebody.
Potentially, or it depends how confident you are. There are lots of options.
And all of those kind of things. But your main message is get your head out the sand and just start.
And just start. A little and often, payoff in the end.
It really does.
Is there anything you want to add before the quick fire round?
Do you want to talk about the budget coming up? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Again,
That's very important.
I would really encourage business owners to take stock at the moment. So understand what is the makeup of your business, what are you relying on, what reserves have you got? Because the word at the minute feels so uncertain. And what I would say though is do that, but don't panic. Don't do anything on hearsay at the moment. There's so many different stories coming out, and we just don't know what, the end of November is going to bring. So don't panic. Take stock of what you've got, and then you'll have a clear picture to move on once we have more information coming our way.
That's brilliant.
So I share quite a lot on social. So around that time, we'll definitely be sharing more. But yeah, trust sources is what I would say, because there's so much sensationalism about these kinds of things that we're trying to get behind the detail. And for each person, it's going to be different.
That's the thing, isn't it? I think with these things, it can feel so big, but actually just bring it back to you, your family, what's in your control.
Yes.
Then it makes it a lot more achievable.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Okay, quick fire round.
What's the best money advice you've ever been given?
So I would say it's all about time in the market, not timing the market.
Oh, can you explain that, please?
Yes.
I'm just Nick's got it. I'm like, what?
Oh, I get that.
So it is about being in the market, doing it, instead of trying to double guess. Is this the right time to invest? Is that the right time not to? Do it, because the time is what brings the growth. But it's a good lesson in life, I would say, generally.
Okay, that was the best advice you've been given about money. What about the worst?
Marry a rich man.
Oh, I love this. There's so much I love this. Okay, I love it. Yeah. And what app could you not live without for managing money or life?
So as I already said, I'm a bit of a spreadsheet person. So I'm sure there are some amazing apps out there to manage your money. Yeah. But my life, the hardest working app on my phone has got to be my notes section.
Okay.
My brain is so full. I'm a mum, I'm a business owner, all of those things. So to help me sleep at night, and it's probably in no good order, but I have a lot of notes.
What is one indulgence you could not live without, no matter what your budget says?
Probably good coffee.
Yes.
Yes. Got to be, right?
Any shout outs of local ones?
Oh, Lola's in Leamington.
So good. So good. And an accidental cinnamon bun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's going to happen, isn't it?
Any other questions?
No, I think we've done it, haven't we? I feel very empowered now to go and go forth with and take control of my own finances.
There you go.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for taking the time and for helping us and everyone that's listening. What you're doing already, sharing the demystifying videos on your accounts have helped so much. So keep it up, and thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you.
Amazing. Okay, so that's it for another episode of We Started a Business, Send Help.
We still don't have a jingle. I know that those of you who have been with us for the last few episodes will know that this is no longer a surprise. However,
if something here has helped, or you just like the pod,
you can help us by liking, subscribing, and sharing
the episode.
Pass it along
to another biz owner
who needs help to stay strong.
Yeah. So remember, building a business doesn't mean I can't even.
So we can't do this anymore. We're going to have to do it a different way. Please keep sending in your questions, and thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Always the professional.